Okay, in our previous video we finished the look of our template, and we can always change that later if we want. Let's review the code side real fast. HTML source code, document type HTML opening closing tag, head opening closing tag, template information, since this is Dreamweaver template, our title, a link to the CSS sheets, our body tag, container, everything's within the container, header, navbar, aside, our editable region, which is the main content, and our footer, closing body tag, closing HTML. Good. CSS rules, everything from our body rules down to the footer rules are in there. The properties, we can always change those later. And we are ready to make our first actual page that we will publish. So we're going to make a file, new. It's going to bring us back to this screen. We'll go new document. We can say HTML template. No, we don't want to say that. We want to say HTML. None. Cancel. Okay, now we're ready to make our first actual page that we will publish. This will be the home page or index page. We can create that by saying file, new. It's not going to be a new, it's going to be a new document, but it's going to be based on our site template. If we're connected to our site, that should show up, and there it is. Movie site, movie, that's our movie template. Make sure this is checked. Whenever we update the template, it will update this page we're about to make. Create. May take a second. Okay, when I'm looking at it from the live view, the main was surrounded by an orange border that tells me that that is the editable region. If I try to come up here and change these, I will not be able to change these and edit them. I'll have to go back to the template page. Okay, now before I do anything else, I need to save this page. File, save as, and make sure it's going to my site folder at this level. And this is our home page, so it's going to be index.html, all lowercase letters, index.html. Save. And now I can adjust this. Well, that's already, I'll keep that as welcome. I'll keep it on Be Very Afraid. That's my motto. And I'm going to say, for the paragraph text, I can highlight it here or go to the code view. And this is the only parts I can change, really, right? I'm going to say, click the posters below for more information, or something along that line. Now this is going to be my home page, so I can change the title. I could call it my Monster. Now up here we can use caps. Monster Flicks home page. Monster Flicks home, that's fine. Good. And you see this has changed on the code side, or the live view. Save. Now the next thing I'm going to do is make some more div tags, some more boxes that I can put my movie posters in. Okay, so let's click on that paragraph text. We're going to come to our insert panel, HTML, and we're going to insert a div tag. We want that tag after my paragraph text so I can make some new rules. Now what I can do is add a CSS rule to this. I can do that out here in the menu, and I'm going to call that one, and this is something in the class. I want to use this over and over. I'm going to make several of these boxes all with the same settings. So I can call this a period poster posters dot posters. That's going to be my class. Hit enter. It's going to my movie CSS sheet. Good. Hit enter. And there we are. Now I can come over here to my CSS designer. Current dot posters. Right now it goes all the way across, and this is a fixed layout website. I want to define the width and height, so go to layout. For the width of these, it's going to be about a third of that width of the container or main section. Now I can base the width on pixels. I can also base it on percentage. I know about a third would be 30%, but I also want to add some margin to this guy. The height, I want to make the height according to pixels. I'm going to make the height 300 pixels. For now, I may change those if they feel too big. And for my margin, I'm just going to put a margin on the left, and it's 30% wide. I'm going to do 3 of these. That'd be 90% across, which will leave me 10% for 4 margins. 10% divided by 4 is 2.5%. Shift percent, so 2.5% of the width. Good. Now there's some paragraph text in here. I'm going to select that text. I don't want it in there. I can delete that. Okay, arrow down, but I still have my poster here. There's my poster div tag. I'm on my posters CSS rule. Now I'm going to add a background image in here just to help us see it, or maybe even a background color or image. Let's try that honeycomb thing I keep trying to use. That's a sand one. See that honeycomb one? And there we go. Good. Now what I'm going to do within this posters, click within there so you see the cursor. I'm going to insert. Oops, for this I'll have to go to insert. I'll have to go through the code view. Click within that poster, opening and closing. Click right between there, insert HTML image. And I'm going to select my first poster. Now I've resized these ahead of time in Photoshop. So before I insert this, let's quickly look at my images folder. Here's my images folder. And I've opened these in Photoshop and resized them. I've also renamed them. I resized them to 180 pixels across. Now the cool thing about your Creative Cloud, you also have Photoshop. So if you want to, you can download that, open up your image in Photoshop, and just do one simple process. Image size, make sure these are locked, and I'm going to make a width of 180 pixels, make sure it's at 72 resolution, and OK. Then just save the changes. Very easy. Photoshop is a part of the Creative Cloud. Works very well with Dreamweaver, but you can use any image editing program to resize those. I highly recommend that you resize those images, all the posters, 6 posters, to 180 pixels across for your home page. Alright, let's put that first one in here. Here's my first poster. Now before I put that poster in, actually what I could do, I need 6 more of these. Let's duplicate these real fast. Copy, click to the right, enter, paste, enter, paste, enter, paste, 1, 2, 3, 4, enter, paste, enter, paste. Now if I go to the live view, you can see what happened. Uh-oh. they're returning, which means something's not quite right with my measurements. Let me go back to the code view. Posters. CSS Designer. Posters. I got the right width. I got the right margins. I know for the layout for that posters, I have to do the good old float left so they snap in place and knock the next guy over. Let's go to live view and see if that took care of it. Yes, it did. Now they're all laying out there ready to go. Oh, one more problem. They're all touching. Back to my posters rule. Posters. Layout. I'm going to have to put a margin at the bottom just to separate them out. It's up to you, whatever you want. Save this. File, save all. Now if I look at that CSS rule for those posters, movie CSS, see where I put that on there. There's my width, 30%, height, 300 pixels, margin just on the left. I can't put it on the right and left, or else it would be even more margin if I put it on the right. Background image, float left, and a little bit of margin at the bottom to separate them. Live view. And I know there's one more problem, so let's preview this. Real-time preview, Google. Alright. File, save all. It's just telling me there's something that's not updated. And now I should be able to preview. And I think there's something. File, save all. The source code. File, save. Not sure why it's showing me that. There we go. And well, here's the problem. With all those movie poster boxes that are going to be in there, and my posters will be in there, it's knocking out beyond the size of this container, of this main section. And here's how we can fix that. There's a couple options. I can go back to this main section here, my main CSS rule. Layout. Let's scroll down. And we could say overflow Y. That text is overflowing, and those images, CSS div tags are overflowing. What do I want to do about it? Well, I can make a scrolling effect. And here's what that does. Scroll. When I scroll down, everything fits within that box, but the actual stuff in the box scrolls within that page. So let's go back here on the internet where we can see it a little better on the internet. Alright, you can see how those don't quite fit there. Let me refresh that. I guess I need to save them here. File, save all. Internet, update. There we go. And now there's that scrolling effect in that box. Alright, so lets me see all that content. Another option, if you don't want to do the scrolling effect, and the main is I can go up to the size of the height of my main section and change that to auto, A-U-T-O. Hit that and get rid of that overflow scroll effect. File, save all. Now when I come back here and update it, the container or main content section is stretching out to accommodate whatever I put in there, whether it's new div tags, new text, new images. It's stretching out to accommodate that. Alright, so it's up to you, however you want to do it. I think I'm going to stick with that scrolling effect for now. So let me go back in here. Command Z, something we haven't really talked about is Command Z. You can undo stuff. And our height for that guy was 588. Let me go back, not 5,000. 588. Now let me go back to that overflow Y and keep it on scroll. Good. Save all. Double check it. There it is. I like that effect. Okay, next couple things we're going to do is insert these posters that I already prepared the size. You should prepare the size ahead of time. Click in that posters div tag. Let me go back to my code view. It'll be a little easier. Within that posters div tag, I'm going to insert an image, and let me do this on my first one. I guess I should do in order, right? I can't remember which order I did, so for that I'll have to go up here. I should do the same order as my sidebar, and I did. It came from outer space, then Abbott and Costello. So the first one, insert panel image. It came from outer space. And let me check the live view to make sure it fits in there. Good. Code view. Next one, I'm positioned between these two tags for that div tag. Abbott and Costello. Insert image. Abbott and Costello. Good. My next one. Them. Next one. Now resize the images all have the same width. The heights may vary a little bit, but the width is all the same, so they fit into those poster div tags. Cancel. And then between these two for, actually I skipped one here. Oh, that's right. After them, here we are. Okay, good. After them is Invaders from Mars. Then after that is They There Stood Still. And finally, between my last two div tags, the Guanji. Now pay attention to the code for that. Remember, image source equals the pathway to the code or to the JPEG width and height. We can add alternative text there. Let's go to the live view, see if they all fit all right. Good. They're all fit in there. They all fit correctly. My only concern now is that they all sort of float to the left. Let's go back to that posters div tag, CSS Designer posters. If we go to text layout, text align center. That should center those. Okay, now I could put a little padding on the top to push those images down. And let's do a padding of just like 10 pixels. See how that looks. Not too bad. And maybe a little more. Might look a little better. Let's try 20. Not bad. Looks good. File. Save all. And on that posters, I could add drop shadows. I could add borders on these. All kinds of things. But I think they look pretty good. And let's get into save all. I think I already did, but do it again. Next, I'm on my live view. I can click one of these images, and then down here under this image I can add a link, and I could link those to my pages. How do I know what my pages are called? I can't remember. What I could do is quickly go to the source code over here and see what I saved those links as before. I could highlight that text, HTML, copy it, or just retype it if I want. I'm being a little lazy, so I'm going to just paste it in here. Now they have to be exact. Now those images become links, so they link to my actual pages. Put Abbott and Costello, come back here. There it is, Abbott and Costello, that's the name of my page, .html. Make sure I do not copy the quotes. Index page, this guy's selected, link. Them, same thing. Movie, them.html. No, I could just retype these, but next, Invaders from Mars, image, code, Invaders from Mars. However you want to do it. Next, stay there, stood still. Make sure I'm not selecting any of those quotes, quotation marks. Guanje. And there we go, quick way to do that. Nice. Double check them. Make sure they're linking to the right place. Yes. File, save all. Let's come back here, refresh. And our home page is pretty much done, I think. Got the header up here, got our links that don't go anywhere yet. Got these that don't quite go anywhere yet, but they will once we make these pages. Welcome, be very afraid. Click the posters below for more information. There we are. Once we make those pages, these will link to that page. I like it. I think it's looking good. And next we will create our about page.